Thank you for watching, liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing right now. I'm always getting to play around with the latest software or hardware around here, which is kind of nice. I love doing it. And this particular product I'm going to show you is no exception. I received a press release the other day for a new product from a company known as Digital Spectrum, and this product is known as the Vista frame. And let me tell you, as far as digital photo frames goes, this, well, according to their spec sheet, has it all, and it really does. Connects wirelessly to the internet over B or G wireless networks. It also has no subscription fee. You can subscribe to Flickr photos, web shots, or Windows Live Spaces. It is updatable over the web, so you can press the update button in the interface and it'll go. It's got a nice little remote control, and we set it up last night to just to play around and see what it was like. And ran into a few snags, but after a software update, I think that some of our issues had been solved. That being said, this is probably the second real digital photo frame I've ever owned. The first one was one of the first digital photo frames that I still have, and it still works. A Kodak Storybox frame with a nice wooden, I guess, bezel or faceplate, and still got it sitting over in my office. The problem with that is it's not connected to the internet, and it only uses compact flash cards. Well, this particular frame right here, right now, is streaming in photos live from my Flickr account, and it handles all sorts of removable media formats, just about any imaginable, or a USB stick, which is really, really nice. It's got stereo speakers, plays music pretty nicely, I mean, as you can imagine, with stereo speakers, for a digital photo frame. You can mount it on the wall, you can hang it portrait or landscape. Of course, I like my photos landscape. The only issue I really ran into it, I think, has more to do with the newness of it and the software. I was expecting to be able to subscribe to a general Flickr tag for photos so that everybody who's in live.pirillo.com, the chat room, would be able to submit photos to the frame, and then it would be constantly fresh. And that turned out not to be the case with this particular software revision. So I'm going to send a message off and suggest that for immediate software revision, because that would make it great. There's some photos streaming in from my wedding that are sitting in my Flickr account. The controls are relatively easy to use. It's just a little over 10 inches LCD, bright, very bright. It's got volume controls, and as I said, you can control everything by the remote control. I'm not going to hang it on the wall. I'm likely just going to set it on the desk, so it's just another thing to look at. So I guess that'd make about the 40th glowing object here in the office. If you haven't thought about getting a digital photo frame, you might start small. Sure, that's fine, but they're just so much fun, and I think that's what's nice about it. It's just fun. That's the reason why I think I've always been fascinated. What's kept me from really upgrading over the years was those subscription fees and the lack of upgradability with the options in terms of the removable media part or the connectivity part, and all those things combined, this particular frame in terms of hardware has solved, and in terms of structure it has solved. It's $349, so it's not cheap, and you could argue that, well, I could build my own frame with this computer and this LCD monitor and this. Sure, but it's probably not going to look great, and you're probably not going to be able to easily hang it on the wall or set it somewhere. And maybe you might, as a geek who doesn't care much about aesthetics, but Ponzi would shoot me if I tried to pull something like that anywhere in this house. So, by the time you invest in all that hardware and time and figuring out how to put all the software and all that stuff together, it's not that much of a challenge, but it's just as easy to buy a digital photo frame. Just make sure if you do get a digital photo frame, my recommendations are get as big as you can afford, get something that's going to connect to the internet wirelessly over your existing network. Like I said, this does B or G, including encryption on both networks, B or G, and get something that doesn't have a subscription fee. That's a huge minus, because that's the reason why I've had to ignore a lot of the frames out there to begin with. Since the Storybox, the Kodak frame originally started on a subscription fee. They stopped the subscription fee, but they allowed you to update the firmware so that you didn't have to dial in. It was connected by a phone line. Oh my God, to connect to the internet. That's how old that thing is. But it still works. It's still nice. I just never update it. Now I've got an internet connected frame that'll be sitting on my desk, and you'll be able to send photos to it. If you want to know the email address to submit photos to, just swing by the chat room at live.pirillo.com. I'm sure you'll be seeing it hanging around. Well, at least sitting around, because I'm not going to hang it.